Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be doing Shoshinge in the Sofu style, and then we'll be moving on to the Wasan with Anlaku Bukkoku on page 241. Okay, so do Shoshinge in Sofu style with Anlaku Bukkoku on the Wasan today. Thank you.
奇妙無下公如来 永州たら謙信実公選の頂戴誓願こういう本願力栄光移動群上昇一心義入独大崩壊逸逆入大永収集特使連下創世界即昇信用発祥人有本の雨林現人図入生寺恩寺王下本師論難病天使上皇乱消防殺来三蔵ルシ十条教凡上宣教気楽法天神菩薩論中下王道因果見誓願法下猫ゆたり少女死因唯心人惑前本部新人法承知承知即涅槃一子無量光明道小宇宙外部家同社家小道南小唯明浄土活入万全自力変言宗円満特合感染症三部三神経音言増末法滅道品一生増悪自偶税死安如内生妙感全能道具名仏生意公愛上三陽逆悪公明明語見民年外入音願内智界行者生じ今後心教義一年相応語用意大道逆三人即小小子上来原神公開一大行延期安養官日祭先祖終身反戦時法華二道小弁流極十悪人唯小物外薬剤非摂取中煩悩証言水部見大無見上昇が本資源空行仏教年民全幕本部に新宗教書講演中戦弱音願具悪性現代生じ輪年下下地義上位小子即入弱上無意楽一心地味の入空兄弟 心地高層性 見てたも南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南不如実宗教と言えること乱視釈してのたまばく一者信心扱らず約存約本すゆえに南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏何者信心一ならず欠如なきゆえなれば三者信心相続せず四年健康と述べたも南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南三人天然相乗数行者心よとどむべし信心なつからざるゆえに欠如 願にしくとく平等性祭道法図母大心大上安楽
Morning, everybody. I guess I think there's some kind of outside noise going on outside in the street, so I was a little bit distracted there. I just wanted, there's a possible chance I might have to end the video call a little bit early just to kind of see if everything is okay outside. But anyway, just wanted to talk today about the other day when I had a few, I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and we were, this person is a temple member. I won't say which temple, and I won't say who it is, but had a few drinks and kind of got a, see, that's a nice thing about it, Joshishu ministers, that we can, we can drink. And so it's these conversations, as a matter of fact, they're very interesting things that kind of pan out sometimes, that kind of unfold because, you get to kind of express your true feelings in these kinds of things. And as such, one of the things that came up was that this person has observed that at the temple, many of the Sangha members, or it's their impression that many of the Sangha members don't know that they need to kind of process this teaching for themselves. And that might seem like a no-brainer, but actually, if we think about it, it's kind of easy to get into the habit of things when you go to the temple and Sunday services and these kinds of things. That there's a tendency to want to treat this act of going to temple like a transaction, right? Like a transaction. If I come to temple for X number of years, I rank up naturally, right? Then after about, like 10, 15 years or so, then I should become enlightened, right? It's very transactional. I think another way to kind of think about this is in terms of, karate, or like, some kind of, self-defense sport, right? Where, or, it's called kakutogi in Japanese, but like, judo, karate, and these kinds of things. Martial arts, that's the word I was looking for, where you rank up the steps, and then you get your white belt, you go to green belt, purple, whatever, brown, and then black. and then even within black, you have certain degrees, right? So then we treat this as if it's very transactional. If I follow the steps, that will naturally lead me to awakening, right? And if it doesn't lead me naturally to awakening or enlightenment, then why come to temple? What's the purpose of coming to temple if it's not leading me naturally to get to where I need to go, get to where I want to go? Okay. And there's a couple issues with this way of thinking. The first is that there's a tendency to think that the temple should work for me. Temple, it should be working for me. I am paying dues. I am paying money. The temple should work for me. Okay, that's one of the points that I wanted to make. The second point that I want to make is I can expect enlightenment or some kind of epiphany in a given amount of time. Okay. Again, this is very transactional. So, and it's not to say that I don't blame this person. This is the way that we were conditioned to view the world, right? In anything that we do, in any sports program that you yourself or your maybe perhaps your kids go into, or that any kind of membership at a gym or any kind of thing that you're paying into, right? We are taught and conditioned to think that that there is a transaction that is taking place. If I pay so much money, if I give so much of my time, if I give so much of my effort, I should be getting this back. I should be getting this back, right? And so we expect nothing different, in terms of this world of the spirituality, right? It's the same way. I'm going to ask for just a quick second here. I don't know what's going on out there, but there's there's all kinds of noise going on. So where was I? So there's these 2 points. The temple should do the work for me, and then the second point, which is I can expect or enlightenment of some kind after a certain amount of time. Okay, and so this very transactional idea. But you could come to temple, for 50 years, still have no awakening of any kind, right? Or you can come to temple for a year and have an awakening. You can perhaps maybe you can even not even come to temple at all and have this awakening or this moment in which you hear the calling voice of Amida Buddha. Okay. Now, when I explain this calling voice of Amida, it's not like some deity or some outside source is saying, "Takashi, come to the light." It's nothing like that, right? You actually call it kind of another way to put it is the voiceless voice. It's the voiceless voice. So it's not this kind of speaking to you, right? In that way of this audible kind of voicing. If there is an audible voicing, it's the voice of Namo Amida Butsu, the voicing of Namo Amida Butsu. But it's also known as this voiceless voice in the sense that the transcendent world, right, is accessing us, touching our hearts through the Nembutsu. And that is what we hear. We're hearing through our heart's ears. And that's what is taking place when I say that. Okay, so that's just something that kind of popped into mind as I was saying the words, hearing the calling voice of absolute truth or the Amida Buddha's great compassion. And so, maybe perhaps you heard this calling voice at some random place where you heard a Dharma talk, or you went on a walk on a beach or something like that, or someone close to you has passed away. In these ways, then, these types of kind of this epiphany, if you will, or this turn of the heart can occur both at the temple at any time, at any moment. It's difficult to say when exactly it's going to happen, and it's not formulaic. There is no transaction that is taking place, and I think that's something that we have to kind of leave at the door when we come to the Hondo. We have to leave at the door when we come to listen to the Buddha Dharma. So my point is to say that the 2 points that I've addressed earlier, the first one, that the temple should do the work for me. Okay, so this idea needs to is obviously incorrect. That the Buddha Dharma has been presented to you, being brought forth to you, but in the end of it all, right, you're the person that has to accept it or not. Okay, you have to process it or not. And I know that sounds like a very common sense thing, but actually, it's not quite that common sense as you might think it to be. You have to kind of process this for yourself, and you have to kind of, I guess you could say, test out the Dharma out in real life, right? So that has two things that come with it. One is on the flip side, on the good side to that, it's the freedom to be able to choose the teaching that speaks to you the most. But on the flip side to that, there is the responsibility that you have to process this for yourself. You can't just go through the motions. You can't just come to Sunday services and just expect that this is going to happen, or that you are going to attain enlightenment just by coming to the temple. Okay. So that was the first point of the temple should do the work for me. Okay. The second point, which is I expect enlightenment or some kind of epiphany in a given amount of time, that it's a transaction that is taking place. This is also an incorrect way of thinking, that we should leave this kind of at the door. And the only kind of answer that I have to this, which may not be a satisfying answer, or it may sound like a cop-out in some respects, the only answer is that you should come to temple. Continue to listen to the Buddha Dharma. Continue to open your hearts to the Buddha Dharma and the calling voice of Amida Buddha. Even after you hear that calling voice of Amida Buddha, you should still come to temple, right? You can deepen your understanding of the Amida Buddha's calling voice. Shinging only happens once. This awakening, this turning of the heart only happens once. However, you can continue to reflect on the depth of Amida Buddha's great compassion throughout your life, right? And and this actually, as a matter of fact, the want to keep coming back to listen to the Buddha Dharma is a sign that you have been kind of shaken to the core, that you have had this turning of the heart. Right? If you have had this turning of the heart and you walk away from the temple, right? Again, you're treating it as a transaction. That is a sign that you have treated it as a transaction. I've gotten what I needed, and I'll be on my way. But if you've been really shaken to your core, you will seek throughout your life to continue to awaken or to continue to deepen your understanding of Amida Buddha's great compassion, and also continue to reflect on one's egocentric nature, on one's this being that is filled with blind passions. And so it is this kind of twofold or two-sided kind of deepening. And what I mean by deepening is that we see more and more instances of how the Buddha Dharma is true in our everyday lives. Right? And that's what I mean by deepening. We can see it in ourselves. We can see it in the outside world. We can see it in the daily activities, as well as society on a macro scale. Right? And that all these things are being kind of discussed very accurately by the Buddha Dharma. Okay, and so that's what I mean by kind of deepening our understanding. Again, Shinji happens only once. This turning of the heart occurs only once, but it is from there that we can still deepen our understanding of the Buddha Dharma. We have to still come to temple and still continue to open our hearts up to the Buddha Dharma. The ego mind is a very fickle mind and is a very forgetful mind. Okay, so even if you have been shaken to the core and you've heard the calling voice of Amida Buddha, okay, in that instant, that's fine. But thereafter, when you become cognizant of it, the ego mind again takes over. Okay, and the ego mind is relentless in that sense. And this is why we have to continue to open up ourselves to the Buddha Dharma, to continue to receive the teachings of Amida Buddha's calling voice. Arrogance and this idea of, I've heard it once, I'm good, I understand what I need to know. That is the antithesis of what a Jodo Shinshu Nembutsu practitioner is. And I can say that with pretty good confidence. Okay? When there is this idea that I have understood what I needed to know, and now I'm good. That is the antithesis of what it means to be a Nembutsu practitioner. Okay, and I think that's something that we can sum it up, everything that I've been trying to say today by that last point there. Okay, so with that, I'd like to end. Thank you, and now we'll read on I'll go on to the Gobun Show. Sixth, there are rumors nowadays that priests have got into the habit of drinking heavily. This is utterly disgraceful. They should not be behaving like this. I do not necessarily mean that they should give up the consumption of sake altogether. But if they drink as heavily as this, there are bound to be occasions when intoxication throws into confusion their relationship with the Buddha Dharma and with Dharma friends. This is totally unacceptable. If priests in such cases are stopped from drinking, it will definitely contribute to the promotion of the Buddha Dharma. If such priests find it impossible to give up drinking altogether, then just one cup might be acceptable. It is seriously worth considering, however, whether the reason they find it is so difficult to give up drinking is perhaps because their aspiration for the Buddha Dharma is too shallow. Seventh, at meetings with fellow Dharma friends, even those who have already attained faith should talk about it repeatedly to one another. This will provide the foundation for Shin Buddhism to prosper. Thank you very much. That will end the morning portion of today. Just in terms of ritual, one of the things I do kind of want to discuss, which I've discussed before, but I think it's been some time has elapsed, so it would be good to bring this up again, which is that when you enter the Hondo, it's common to bow, right? It's common to have just like a slight bow when you enter the Hondo as a sign of respect that you recognize that this is a kind of a sacred space that you are entering, right? But a lot of times what happens is people will enter the Hondo as if it is kind of like a dojo, okay? Or like a place of where they do martial arts and these things. It seems to be a running theme today. But anyway, so when they, I used to do karate when I was a younger kid. But when you enter the dojo, you bow to the space, right, that you are now entering, because you are being given the chance to practice. You're being given the chance to practice and to kind of hone your skills in a place like this. So you're kind of showing respect to the space. Well, it's common in that sense, and we're giving respect to the space, the sacred space, right? But what we're actually bowing to is the Buddha, right? Is the Buddha. So what we're recognizing is not the space itself, right, being sacred, but we're kind of the attention should be directed to the Buddha. Okay? So when you enter the room, you should face the Buddha and bow. Okay. So sometimes I see a lot of people, and the camera angle won't be so good, but they enter the room and they kind of bow towards the space, right? Okay, this whole area. So essentially, when they bow, let's say the door is right here, okay, and I come in, and then they bow like this, and then they walk, right? Completely ignoring Buddha, completely just as if the Buddha was some kind of painting, right, on the wall or something. It's just, and then just walk on to go sit down. And that's not the purpose of bowing when you enter the room. Okay? When you enter the room, you have to kind of recognize, where is Buddha? Where is Buddha? There is Buddha. I will bow towards the Buddha. And then proceed to walk and take a seat or wherever it is that you wanted to do. Right. So so when you enter the Hondo, please direct your attention to the Buddha and bow to the Buddha, and then kind of proceed about your business. And so that's kind of a crucial point that I kind of wanted to mention in terms of ritual, because it's kind of important to note some of those kind of customs that we have in our tradition, right? Again, when we enter the Hondo or enter the Onaijin or anything like that, everything is always centered around Buddha. Okay? Everything's always centered around Buddha. Okay? And so anything that we do, movements and all that stuff, is all directed with the Buddha in mind. Let's put it this way. If you have the Buddha in mind in everything that you do in the Hondo and the Onaijin, the Japanese word is bunan. Let's see, how do I translate that? It's you won't be sorry, or that's not the good way to put it. You won't go wrong with that. Okay, so as long as the Buddha is in mind, right? If your back is to the Buddha, or like you're covering it, and I'm talking to you like, oh, like this, that's the wrong attitude, right? That's why I'm always kind of off-centered, right? And that's it's always with the Buddha is teaching. Okay? The Buddha is always at the center, and so that's all the movements of what a minister does or is supposed to be doing, is having Amida Buddha at the center. Okay, so that's something that I wanted to point out for today in terms of the ritual side of things. Okay? So with that, I'll close today. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great rest of your morning. Thanks.